Hello, Internet, and welcome inside the VinnyMac's 9 Radio Show podcast, the most radioactive show on the planet. I am the one and only DJ Vince VinnyMac, as always, coming to you live, this time in our mobile studio, live from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I am joined in studio with, of course, MC Percolator.
MC Percolator coming at you with the facts.
And I know that he doesn't want to say it, but he's got his lovely lady in studio, and she doesn't have to say anything, but I would love for him to share with everybody her awesome alias that we've come up with.
It took a little bit of thinking, but Schmexy Lexi 69.
So
I lost it when she said it to me.
Well, I lost it when you told me what it originally was, and I said, well, we've got to add the 69, not because of anything in particular, but just because the 69 would make everything just more hilarious. So as such, we are doing a live broadcast in front of a live studio audience. Exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. It's very rare that we ever, at least with the podcast anyway, that we do a live studio audience. So this is a treat for our live studio audience, in addition to the fine folks tuning in. And
absolutely.
And as such, don't forget that we do simulcast on multiple platforms. We do, of course, come to you live on our own platform at VinnyMacRadio.com. And of course, we simulcast on other platforms like YouTube, Twitch TV, Hitbox, and Shoutcast. So this has definitely been quite a month since our last podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Last podcast was a little crazy because we took everything that we did from PAX and everything from the first quarter up to the end of 2015 and went a little crazy. And of course, we never really got to a good point to where we bridged all that together, because of course we talked about...
I don't think we really talked about MagFest too much, did we?
We didn't. I mean, we talked a little bit about it, but not really too much because we were a little strapped for time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
we didn't even talk about MagFest with Rossi, did we?
No, not really. But, MC Percolator comes to you with the facts. So... I suppose I will give him the opportunity to come to you with the facts of everything that happened to him in MagFest and his awesome experience. Because my experience is always very interesting, because you know that I run a lot of stuff behind the scenes for MagFest.
Yeah, seeing you in your quote-unquote natural habitat.
Yeah, I'm sure
it was all business.
I'm sure that was very interesting for you and most people who understood what was going on, because I was running around all over the place.
I've ever seen you walk.
And really? Because I usually walk pretty fast.
You were trucking.
Well, anyhow, if you actually saw what was going on, I was literally going between both sides of the Gaylord National Harbor Hotel, because I have several rooms booked with the Gaylord, of course, on both sides. And of course, I have all these other events that I've got to oversee and ensure go on without a hitch to ensure that the event goes on the way it's supposed to.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a lot of things that I do behind the scenes that I never really talk about, primarily because, as such, being an underground DJ, host, and what have you, that's how it's supposed to be done. It's supposed to be done so you don't really know that I personally am the one doing it. Mm-hmm. And that's the way that I like to keep it. We like it. And considering that most people don't know that, that means that I have done my job. So, all right, I've blabbed enough about me and MagFest. So tell us a little bit about your MagFest experience, because I know it was kind of crazy. This was your second MagFest.
That was I guess Mag Classic was the last one I went to.
Well, I don't really
Mag 0.5.
Well, I don't. Well, I mean Mag Classic, but I don't really count that because we're just talking about prime MagFest events. We're not talking about the mid-year events or any of the sub-events that they do, because the prime event, I've always felt there's so much going on that it doesn't really matter what you're into. You should be able to hopefully find something that you really enjoy, because at Mag Classic and some of the other sub-events that MagFest does during the year, they're pretty specific about, what their venue is, what they're trying to tailor the event to. And as such, for some, it may not be as exciting as MagFest because you have all these other things culminating into one event, so you can pick and choose as far as what you want to do. And hopefully most of the time you'll be relatively entertained the entire time.
Yeah. For MagFest, that was my fourth convention ever. And that was the most fun I've ever had in my life. Going on a trip up to National Harbor, Maryland, and spending a Thursday, or was it? I think I got there Thursday morning. We drove all night long on Wednesday night, and got into National Harbor at maybe I think 8 a.m. and parked the car, got our rooms or whatever, and Vinny, you just ate a cream-filled donut and sprayed the cream all over your hand.
It did. So we're eating some Krispy Kreme donuts.
So forgive us if you hear smacking.
And yes, I ate the donut, and sure enough, the cream went all over my hand. It looks
your face was priceless.
Looks a little interesting here. Anyhow,
so my big thing that I want to do at MagFest, because there was also over 100 artists who played there. It was rap artists, rock artists, EDM. There was mainly chip tunes there. Every artist that played there had to do with video games or something of that sort. When they played on stage, all their music had to do with the entertainment, like video games. It focused around that.
Sure.
But they also had an enormous room just with like one section broke off from like PC indie games to consoles to arcade to everything you could possibly think of. They had 6 initial D7 cabinets, which I'd raved over. I played that for 8 hours straight. I went there. My main focus on going there was the Octathlon, which they had an 8-game an 8-game pentathlon is what it was. A Mag Classic. Mag Classic was their first time they trying it out. They had a pentathlon for 5 games, and they had a bunch of people sign up. And my team came in third of 5 teams. We didn't really get much of a prize, but we felt like we got gypped out of points because they constantly switched the rules. But anyways, Rossi and I were on the same team. We had another guy named Marcus and his friend Tom. They played on our team. They were the number 1 and number 2 NBA Jam players in the nation, and they had their own 45-minute panel for MagFest for anybody who felt like they could come up and try to beat them in NBA Jam, and it was hilarious watching people play because they couldn't keep up. Marcus got pissed off when it was 59 to 23, and they scored a 3-pointer on him, and he slammed his fist up against the game cabinet with anger. He was so mad somebody scored a 3-pointer on him. But the Octathlon it was Rocket League, Smash Brothers, Killer Queen, NBA Jam. Oh, shoot. What was the other games? It was Audio Surf on PC, and then they had Unreal Tournament on PC, and that was a lot of fun seeing these people play in their I would say in their natural habitat. I felt like one of the coolest people there. Because my first convention ever was Animazement, and that was a lot of fun in Raleigh, North Carolina. My second one was Mag Classic up in Alexandria, Virginia. Mm-hmm. And then the third one was Ichiban Con in January 2nd of this year. And then MagFest. MagFest is by far the best one.
Didn't you play a lot of Rocket League this year too?
16 hours straight. I sat down and tried to learn that game. I'd never played it before, and I had to compete. There were 32 teams signed up to play in this tournament, and that was my game that I was going to play. It was all 1v1. So I sat down for 16 hours straight to learn that game. I sat down and played all throughout the night just to be able to learn how to play and play it well. And I came in third overall for our team. Out of everybody competing, I came in third. I felt pretty proud. I got beat out by somebody who could jump up. And at this point, this is pretty ace to me, because you'd pick up your car after you'd be going full speed, pick up your car, lift up the front of your car, use nitrous and fly across the map, nose the ball and shoot it in the goal. And I was impressed. As I put the controller down, I was like, I'm done. I quit. You win.
Now, after you came back, you spent a lot of time playing Rocket League on the Xbox One.
Oh, totally. I still play it all the time.
It's one of your faves. And speaking of faves, I know that before MagFest, I sent you a copy of Sunset Overdrive, which had some difficulties.
Game rocks.
Well, you had some difficulties getting it working, not because of the game, but because of some issues with the console. But after you got it going, after we kind of tweaked some things, you were able to get it to work, and you thought it was a pretty exciting game. What would you say your favorite part of Sunset Overdrive was?
Oh, man. My favorite part of the game was probably breaking the fourth wall with the writing. I thought the writing was brilliant. At one point in the game, they're talking to somebody. It has like a cell phone pop up as if you're talking to somebody, and you can hear somebody's voice in the background, and like your main character and his girl are talking, and then she says, "Hey, how can we hear his voice without any sort of phone up to our head?" And he's like, "Don't mess with the plot. Just go with it."
Well, you definitely got to love games, TV shows, and movies, and even such shows like the VinnyMac's Night Radio Show podcast, where we break the fourth wall, because that just makes for more entertainment.
I love breaking the fourth wall. It's the best.
We definitely love doing it here on the show.
I was an enormous fan of Deadpool. I was a fan of Deadpool before that movie, so anybody who wants to say, "Oh, you're just liked it because you watched the movie." Yeah, no.
MCP, you just liked it because you watched the movie. You're crazy, man.
You cray.
So we all know MagFest was pretty crazy for me. I had a ton of guests coming from all over the world, most notably Beat Drop and Yoshi Blade that I was with exclusively for most of the duration of the entire event of MagFest.
Hanging out with Dan again was definitely a good time. That was fun.
Dan or Dane?
Yoshi Blade.
Okay.
Yoshi Blade. I'm sorry, I had a donut in my face.
Because Beat Drop is Dane Olsen, and Yoshi Blade is Dan Lasore.
I need to get used to calling him Yoshi Blade because I'm so used to names connecting to a face in my head and then just saying it out loud, the first thing that comes to mind. So,
well, it's okay, because the funny thing is we all know the year of the Yoshi wasn't that long ago.
Year of the Yoshi?
Yeah.
So, sir, you need to elaborate. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't need to elaborate, because anybody knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, because...
What you trying to say?
Well, we'll talk about it after the show, because I don't need to really steal time away from the show to explain. But anyhow, because you can just Google it. But anyhow, I deem this year, because I've been working with Yoshi Blade exclusively on content creation, particularly remixing music and that particular genre of music, I deem this the year of the Yoshi Blade. And what was funny was when I said that, he goes, "Well, I don't think he really understood what I meant," but I said, "No, this is the year of the Yoshi Blade." And he goes, "No, the year of the Yoshi has already happened." And I said, "Yes, it has. But that's not really quite where I'm going with this."
Keep up.
And that's okay, because one of the things that I've done every year with everybody that I've ever sent to MagFest since the very beginning, as you know, and most of our continued listeners know, and those who are new to the program will know here in just a moment, that every year I have sent somebody from particularly the Overclock Remix community to basically get them out to an event relevant to what they're trying to do, to meet some of the people that they may be talking to on a regular basis, and even not so much those that they should be meeting and may not have had the opportunity to talk with or communicate with for whatever reason. And of course, this year it was primarily Beat Drop, but he's not really new to the community by any means. He's been around for a long time. He's staff on Overclock Remix. So as far as what I was doing for him and his fiance was effectively getting him to MagFest and giving him the opportunity to meet and collaborate with some of the peers that both him and I are familiar with, because we all know that there's a big financial challenge with any type of event, especially if you're coming from the Midwest.
Oh, absolutely.
And similar deal with Yoshi Blade, but the difference with him is the fact that I am working with him exclusively this year on everything that he has going on. And just to clarify, for those who don't understand what that means, it doesn't just mean that I'm helping said person in the sense of working with them in the aspect of actually learning the process, but also helping them personally. Because we all know, with my family and my own experiences over the last 2 decades, that merits a lot of knowledge and experience to share with other people as far as what they may do. Nothing I'm forcing on them, just sharing with them things that they could do to better their own life, their own experience, and their own process. Because I've seen a lot, and that means that I can also give a lot too. Now, that also means that I can learn some stuff too. That doesn't mean that I'm just, giving all this stuff and that's that. No, I give quite a bit, but I also learn new styles, learn what people are doing that I may not even have even thought. And of course, taking that, using my own knowledge and experience, and utilizing that to build upon my own process, and of course, share that with other people that I'm working with outside of people like Yoshi Blade, because, that helps. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, since starting with working with Yoshi Blade the very end of December, it's been a very jam-packed last, although actually I guess it was November, not really December. I just actually made the personal visit to his place the end of December.
Yeah.
And that was definitely fun and interesting in its own right. But it's been a very interesting 6 months because, of course, Yoshi Blade got his first Overclock Remix post in December, something that he had...
Sounds like you've been working on it for a long time.
Yeah, he has. About 2 years, roughly. And
that's a long time.
It's come a long way. And, I'm sure that a lot of people at Overclock Remix may have been reluctant to approve that post, but one of the things that it does differently than most of the other typical tracks that we see get posted is the fact that it's using a lot of experimentation, a lot of things that you may, first couple listens, may find a little unorthodox, but when you take it for what it is, you're like, wow, that's pretty cool, and that really works. Mm-hmm. So, like a lot of tracks I hear, I've got to listen to it at least 3 to 5 times before I can really get a good gauge on whether or not I really like it. The first or second playback isn't really good enough to give a good gauge on what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, things I may be confused about, or may have some questions about, because that's kind of all part of the process. Isn't just listening to it and giving sometimes negative criticism, but just taking it for what it is and saying, here's what I liked, here's what I didn't like, here's what I think you should do, and also in doing so, may even go to the extreme of explaining how you might go about doing that, because one of the things I've always hated with this whole process of, especially in the workshop, is there's no real explanation on how to do certain things. It's just, well, this is what I think you should do, and this is the type of sound that I think you should be using on this particular track, and there's no real, well, you may need this this extension.
Sorry, I'm just picking on you a little bit.
Well, either way, I have to use those 2 words, because to some people, even though from a dictionary standpoint they may be the same thing, and sometimes that leads to confusion, sometimes that leads to...
Oh, that's good, because I'm already confused.
Utter disgust. Well, that's okay. You're not exactly a remixer by any means. You're just a guy who comes to us with the facts.
All of them.
All of them, too.
Everything that comes out of my mouth is true.
So, and, that's definitely where I try to help, too. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a master expert at any or all of this stuff.
Before you continue, isn't that word kind of like a double negative?
What?
But a double positive? Master expert?
You might view it that way, but the semantic of where I'm going with that is people use that a little differently.
Sorry, I'm just picking on you a little bit.
Well, either way, I have to use those 2 words, because to some people, even though from a dictionary standpoint they may be the same thing, in the video game community they can mean 2 different things.
Well, I guess I'm a little far behind, because I consider myself a gamer. I'm behind the curve. I need to keep
So,
up with pop
culture. An expert, could be used in kind of a more professional description of somebody in a master. I mean, as far as where I'm going with this description is some may say, well, you're a master because of your experience, not because of your actual professional work.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, master had to do with like somebody giving you that title.
Either giving it to you, or you actually sought the experience, and it may not have had to do anything with your actual business or day-to-day professional work. But of course,
like the difference between in the beer industry, like brewmaster versus master brewer. Master brewers with experience and spending their entire life doing that, and brewmaster is having to go to school for it and doing all these things and going to get an education to learn how to do all these different things.
Sure. So, I mean, on any of these episodes, it's not unusual that I may use terms like that.
Right.
And of course, when I use terms like that, that mean exactly the same things to most people. It's usually because there is an actual difference to those in the video game music community. And of course, we all like to pick on everybody's idea of things. And
but we also have listeners out there who didn't know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, not only that, but we do have listeners who may not speak English very well. Mm-hmm. And trust me, I've been there working with people who English is their second or even third language. And some of these words they may not even understand. They may understand the word master, but they may not understand the word expert. They may be able to figure it out in the end, but they may not, at the very beginning, understand what those things actually mean.
Right.
I mean, to you and I, they make sense, but to others, I kind of have to, again, go that far, because a lot of our listeners do come from outside of the United States. As a result, it's very important that they understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So what were we talking about before you rudely interrupted me? About my semantics.
Would it be a bad thing to say? I forgot.
Yes, but at least you're being honest.
Hey, why would I lie? All I speak is the facts.
Because you MC Puckalated, you wouldn't do that. You come to us with the facts.
If I did tell you, if everything that comes out of my mouth is a fact, I could just tell you we were talking about pickles, and that would be true.
But we were not talking about pickles, so you just lied to the entire world.
No, it's not untrue, because I'm coming at you with the facts. Oh, gosh. Duh.
MC Puckalated, ladies and gentlemen, here in the flesh. A man of
many cards.
So many things came to mind when you said that.
A man of many cards?
Yeah.
Like what? Many
ideas, concepts, many card games.
Card games. I will tell you one. At MagFest, we played one called the King of Tokyo, which was awesome. Everyone chooses their own creature, and you had dice to roll. So that was your turn. When it was your turn, you got 6 dice, and you rolled. And it had the numbers 1, 2, and 3. It had an electric symbol on there to give you energy, so you could buy cards if you had enough energy. A heart and like some sort of claw on it to symbolize like how many attacks you would have that turn. So let's say you're on your first turn and you have your monster and you choose to roll into attack. Your monster immediately goes to Tokyo. In Tokyo, you can attack everyone, but you can't heal yourself. So everyone can attack you individually in Tokyo, and they can heal themselves, but when you attack, everyone gets damage and you don't heal. So when you get attacked, you can choose to yield it, and it constantly swaps people in and out of Tokyo. It's awesome. You can end up buying cards that say that named like tentacles or something like that, and you can buy energy and buy that card, and it gives you the ability to buy cards off of certain people. It's awesome. I love that game.
So anybody that knows me very well,
you're totally about to swap topics, aren't you?
No. Knows that I've never been a fan of card games. And the one story I want to add to that, the one thing that I remember that involved card games has nothing to do with the card game itself. But back in 2005, me and 2 friends were out.
A whole 11 years ago.
That was a long time ago.
I was in the 5th grade. in 2005.
Wow, that was a long time. That was a long time ago for both of us. Well, anyhow, me and two friends were out, and my friend needed to go to the ATM for some reason. I don't remember what exactly it was. And at the ATM, my friend found $60 on the ground.
Whoa.
So what did he do with that $60? You know, we thought, hey, he might do something a little bit more constructive, but he spent $60 on
Magic cards?
a small number of Magic cards.
Yeah, you could totally spend $60. You drop $60 on 3 different cards easily.
Yeah, it wasn't many.
Planeswalkers.
I literally,
like
he showed us the cards,
lands.
and I was literally like, "You just spent $60 on that? You're."
Priorities are a little mixed up.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, the deck out in my car right now is worth about a little over $150.
Yeah,
and that's just 60 cards.
Now, do bear in mind, if you're somebody who does like card games, I'm not going to hold that against you. It's just that if you talk to me about them or play them in front of me,
it's going to go right over your head.
No, it's not that it's going to go over my head, because I do understand a lot of them. It's just that I will just be completely
tuned out,
just not interested.
Yeah, I tried playing Magic for a while. I was so bored.
Yeah,
so bored. It just made me yawn. Yeah, Magic gets expensive, and it just wasn't as fun. I just stuck with playing Pokemon on my Nintendo 3DS.
Oh boy! And then there's another game, Pokemon. Or I'm sorry.
I realize that the only people who don't like Pokemon are those who haven't played it.
Well, that's the thing. I have played it.
Yeah, but anything after 3rd generation.
It's one of those things where you know most people know that I'm a very busy individual, and as such, I don't really have time to sit down and play a lot of these games. Mm-hmm. And as such, most of them, again, I'm just not really too terribly interested. Again, I'm not going to hold that against anybody. If you want to play it, cool. But I would, you know, especially if you're doing it in front of me, I will just be like, yeah, that's very cool. Cool stuff.
I love it. I mean, I still play it. I've been playing it. Like, my first video game ever was Pokemon Red version.
I'm sure we just lost 100% of our listeners.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe a solid 20%. There was a lot of people just walking around with Nintendos. With 3DSs, just playing Pokemon, trading all over the place and all that.
Sure.
It was a good time. MacFest, there's always like gym leaders that show up. There's Pokemon competitions that go down.
Now, something that may have added to my... I don't like to use the term dislike, but I guess the fact that I'm not interested in card games and Pokemon and stuff like that is just the fact that I was never really a handheld gamer.
Yeah.
You know, again, if you threw a Game Boy at me, at least for playing games, I would
You would destroy Bomberman. That was a great game.
No, I would.
The Game Boy Color.
No, I would just again be very disinterested.
Yeah. Console is definitely better than playing
consoles.
But you
PC,
can't bring a console with you to the park.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go to the park to play a game. I'm gonna go to the park to enjoy the park.
Trips. You can't bring a console. Or you can. It's just a little bit more.
Well,
difficult.
that's the thing. You know, back in the early days, I didn't really have that kind of technology.
Yeah.
You know, sure, I'm a technolust, and I strive to be on the cutting edge.
I've seen that Wi-Fi box you built.
There's actually 5 of them.
But
yeah,
you take a toolbox, a plastic toolbox, and turn it into a Wi-Fi hotspot for. It's awesome. Well, like a full modem in there.
Modem has got 4.
4 modems, a fan to cool everything down.
There's 8.
8 fans of the damn thing.
It's got a low balanced router. It's got 2 Wi-Fi access points in there. It's got quad external antennas. I mean, that thing, and it's also got a built-in server in there if you want to, you know, be able to play back your media over that Wi-Fi access point.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, technolust extraordinaire. But I mean, back in those days, back in the early days, you know, everybody, again, who's been following the show for the longest time, including you, knows that I worked 3 full-time jobs around the clock for a very long time because I had a lot of things to support, not just my own education, but also companies I was running, and you know, of course, my own interests and hobbies in technology. And you know, a lot of people ask me, how are you so I'll use the term knowledgeable because they'll say smart, but that really is only relative to what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it all boils down to the fact that I wanted to know how to do something, or I wanted to know more about something, and I went and figured it out. These were the days before you had internet and the capabilities to, search something in seconds and get an answer right away.
Yeah. That was when you had to go to the library and look it up.
Had to go to the library, had to use those thick encyclopedias. Those were definitely dark days.
Golden days.
The golden days. But those were also the times when, at least for me anyway, I'd say that a lot of innovation occurred because it meant that I had to actually go and do research.
It took effort to learn.
And make the effort to learn. And sure, with the internet and mobile devices and cellular and Wi-Fi technologies out there, I'm able to greatly advance my own knowledge set very quickly because, again, we now have not just Google, but other search engines that work a lot better than they used to. Mm-hmm. We have mobile devices with tons of mobile apps out there. And I'm
still laughing about it because we have all of the knowledge in the world at our fingertips, yet we use it for memes and cat videos.
Well, and that's the fun thing. You may, but I rarely do. Because I don't really deem that to be a very good use of my time.
I will just warn you, I have an extensive arsenal of dank memes.
Oh, you don't have to, because you've shown me some of them.
Mm-hmm. See, my favorite one. Am I allowed to use the F word?
Dude,
is that a
no-go? You've been told this every
yes or no.
Every episode.
I just want to be safe.
You can say whatever you want.
My favorite one, I lost this meme and I can't find it. I think I'm gonna make it soon. But my favorite one was it one of the My Little Ponies? It was like the purple one with like the rainbow mohawk or whatever. And I think it was just the dark purple mohawk, and she's got a pretty sassy look on her face. And it says on the meme, "How about a nice warm cup of shut the fuck up?" And that was my favorite meme for everything. I used it all the time.
I'm sure you probably have used that on the Game Chumps before.
No, I lost it. I lost it about a year ago when my phone got wiped and stupid iOS 8 got downloaded. Stupid iOS. It wiped my phone clean. I lost everything.
And that is actually good to talk about because you wouldn't believe how many people, you wouldn't believe how many people tell me, "Oh no, my computer just got damaged or died."
And SchmexyLexi69 just found the meme online.
Exactly what I was talking about earlier. Got everything at your fingertips. So, you wouldn't believe how many people tell me, "Oh, my laptop just died," or "the hard drive crashed," or the computer was stolen or something. And they're all up in arms because they did zero backups of any kind. Doesn't matter if, we're talking about a flash drive backup or backup on Dropbox, on any of the other backup mediums out there.
Right.
Back up your flippin' stuff.
Yes.
And if you have a lot of data, that's not really an excuse because there are so many alternatives out there. Some are free, some are relatively affordable, that'll help you back up that data. So that really should never be an issue. And people ask me all the time about that. They're like, "Weren't you ever worried about, your data being lost?" No, because I actually back up the stuff that's important to me as I'm working on it. So that's never really an issue. Mm-hmm. So, as always around this time, we definitely take a short break. And boy, do we have a treat for you. MC Percolata did not listen to any of the tracks, so he has no idea what we're playing.
I meant to.
You meant to over the last couple of days.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's been a busy work.
It's okay. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, me, MC Percolata, and Reed, say it.
She doesn't want me to.
No, say it. Say it.
SchmexyLexi.
69.
Where do you get your new name?
All of the guys on the Game Chumps will be back after this, and we'll talk about more stuff. In 5, 4, 3. All right. Another subsequent success as I continue to break the fourth wall. Welcome back, everybody, to the VinnyMac's 9 Radio Show podcast. The most radioactive show on the planet. Yes, party on. Wait a minute, I'm Wayne. What the hell kind of crap is this?
Wait, I'm Garth.
Yeah, you're Garth.
Can I still be Garth?
No.
Take me, Garth. Where? I'm low on gas and you need a jacket.
Shut up and kiss me.
Let me be frank. Can I still be Garth?
So yes, welcome back to the VinnyMac's 9 Radio Show podcast.
Yeah, welcome back.
Episode 1307.
07.
Can you believe that I've been doing the show for this long?
I cannot.
Most people can't.
Benny. I can't believe it.
Well, believe it, because you're going to have to.
Happy Fiber Day.
Happy Fiber Day. If you missed the last podcast, then that wouldn't make any sense. So go listen to the last podcast, and you'll understand.
Just pause it right now and go listen to the other one. No, keep listening to this one. Listen to the other one later.
Just keep listening and listening to the other one later. Because
you'll just run into a whole lot more inside jokes.
You'll lose track, and you'll forget why exactly.
And you'll probably forget to go back and listen to the other episode.
Probably, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Remember, we don't utilize all the other platforms.
It's exciting.
It is. But we don't utilize all the other platforms as a means to get the program out. We use it primarily as a courtesy to the world to provide the show to those that don't have the access that we give most people on the VinnyMac radio stream. And, of course, those that tune in via Shoutcast, which is my preferred method.
Right.
Because, again, this is a podcast, not a video program of some kind. It's supposed to be audio only. And, of course, the Shoutcast stream is going to be the best way to tune in.
Oh, for reals.
And of course, it gives you the track information as well of all the tracks that were played live, as opposed to all the other mediums, YouTube, Hitbox, Twitch TV.
It might be good for me to go check that out since I hadn't heard all of them before.
Sure. So if you're curious during the show what a track happens to be, because you're just like, what is that?
Go check it out.
Go check it out on the Shoutcast because, again, live track updates. It's just a lot easier on you and a lot easier on me because you don't have to contact me and go, hey, what was that track? And I'll be like, I don't know. There were like 17 of them.
Speaking of getting in touch with us, you're more than welcome to tweet out to us or what other forms of social media do we have? Well,
if you want to...
Instagram.
If you want to check out any of our social media, you can go to VinnyMac.tv or GameChumps.tv and you'll get all the info about how you can follow everybody on the Game Chumps crew, not just the crew itself, but
not
each
just
individual.
Us cool guys that happen to be on the show right now.
Yes, but all the other ones that are part of the crew and make the Game Chumps crew exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, episode 1307. Wow, this is pretty wild.
Pretty surreal.
Pretty surreal. And we're here in the mobile studio, here in Raleigh, North Carolina, rocking it with all you fine folks.
I love this city.
You love this city?
I do.
But I just like it.
You just like it?
Because I haven't found a professional opportunity in Raleigh, North Carolina that would make me be here on a permanent basis.
Yeah, I mean, the entire personality of the city. The like IBM is out here. We have more technological stuff. I don't know. That's way out of my pay. That's way above my pay grade.
Way above your pay grade.
Oh yes.
So I'm drinking this energy drink, and again, we talk about things that I have no interest in. Energy drinks are another one of them.
Yep.
And this is disgusting.
Really? It's read the ingredients on the side of the can.
Carbonated water, okay. Leaves, apple juice concentrate, orange juice concentrate, lime juice concentrate, and natural flavors, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm. No chemicals, no additives.
But some of these things I would not necessarily put together.
But they did, and it works, and I love it.
Works
and
for
you're drinking
you.
one, and you don't like it. You ungrateful.
Which means you can have it.
I will gladly drink the rest of this. I probably shouldn't, because I'm going to stay up all night.
Yeah, but you need to stay for a little bit longer.
Maddie is naturally sweet with no added sugars, preservatives, or artificial ingredients. It's 30% fruit juice, lightly carbonated and packed with nutrients to keep you going. Sweet. Nicknamed the Night Watchman by Amazon hunters.
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy.
Very fancy. So yeah, if you're interested in, as we continue to move off topic, if you're interested in checking out Yoshi Blade, Rossi, Tenwug, and of course myself, DJ Vince VinnyMac, and MC Percolator.
MCP.
Coming.
There's a hashtag for that.
There is.
We created that. We created the hashtag
so, yeah,
for that.
GameChumps.tv.
I felt pretty special.
GameChumps.tv is the place to go. You'll notice that I kind of love the design for GameChumps.tv because it's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a picture, an ASCII picture of an airplane, or at least my representation of an airplane. I changed that recently. And it's just got, I think, a couple of links. One to Overclock Remix Radio Live, VinnyMac Productions, the podcast link, and of course the live status for all of our streams.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. Overclock Remix Radio is something that I own and operate. So if you want to hear Overclock Remix tracks 24 hours a day, every day of the year, you can head over to ocremixradio.com and check it out. The funny thing about that service, I get a lot of interesting feedback about that, and a lot of it's good, some of it's not. The feedback that's not good,
I don't like the keyboard warriors. I'm not a fan of those people.
Okay, I'm not sure what that has to do with OC Remix Radio Live.
The people that say negative things about other people, keyboard warriors.
I see. Well, I mean, it's not like they're being purposefully bad. It's the feedback is stuff that we already know, both them and I.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the similar instance to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, when they have the little kids saying they will eat poop and will shove the poop into their poop and then make them eat that poop and then make them eat the poop again.
Okay.
And then going to their front door and beating the crap out of them.
So more specifically, the number one comment that I get, and I've said it before on the show.
I said poop a lot.
Yes, you did. But the number one piece of feedback I get about that I consider negative, because everybody knows this, is the fact that they're like, you should have, a voting system to where, you can pick the type of music you want to hear next. Well, as I tell them, if you would like that, then that's where you can go over to Rainwave, which is OC Remix's quote-unquote official radio station for continuous overclock remix tracks. Because remember, everything that I've done, including OC Remix Radio Live, has been underground and isn't always actively advertised. And for the longest time, it was never indexed on a search engine because I never allowed it. You either had to know that it was there or you had to find it through another source. So anyhow, Rainwave has always been Overclock Remix's official radio station, and that's fine. But they have a voting system. But the problem I have with that, which is why OC Remix Radio Live was created even before the concept of Rainwave, was so that there's no bias as far as what is played. Because you wouldn't believe how many tracks that I have found that I think that I have heard at some point, but don't really remember.
Right.
And realize, hey, this is a pretty awesome track that I never would have heard if it were on Rainwave, because, again, you have people that are putting in bias to say, hey, I want more Super Mario Bros. Or, hey, I want more, more of Beat Drop and Flex Style.
Or more Yoshi Blade, throwing him out there.
Well, there's only one track, so...
Well, more of that one track.
Okay. So...
And on repeat.
So, and that's kind of the problem I have, is that, with Rainwave, that's a cool feature, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I don't feel like those that are actually putting in the time and the effort to, especially those that have been on the site for a long time and don't get any kind of, real playback just because they've been there and people don't remember that they're even there, or, just they've never downloaded them before. Because they're just so old and don't realize, hey, these are some pretty awesome tracks, even though they were created like 15 years ago. As long as the site's been there.
That's a long time. I'm actually curious. I think I might go check.
Well, we're getting. Actually, the 16th year has already passed, so we're, 15th anniversary was not this past December, but the December before that. So OC Remix has been around that long. I've been around a lot longer, and we talked about last podcast about how back in '94 I started not just getting into video games, but also working with people personally in the video game and video game music community specifically, in addition to what I was already doing in rock and roll music.
Right.
Working with them, not only finding my own process, but also helping others figure it out and, get them to where they are today. Because there are a lot of notable artists that I've worked with. Sure, they probably would have figured it out in the end, or at least I like to believe that. But, a lot of them I shared a lot of time with way back when. And it's really cool to see where they've come since then.
That's awesome.
It really is. I got to tell you. Not just for my own benefit, but for theirs too.
Are we allowed to name off a few? Well, those big names?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to, just to protect, protect them. So one of the
that's totally fair.
Well, one of the biggest things that that I've always said is I really don't talk about anything specific from anything that occurred 2 years ago and back. So if it occurred before 2014, unless there's a reason that I need to be really specific, I'm probably not going to be.
Well, fine then. That's all I have to say.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that I don't want to share it. It's just that was a time when, I was working with tons of people, doing a lot of things professionally that were under contract, under NDA, under all kinds of legal paperwork. To where some of it I can share, some of it I can't. But it's just better for me to be safe than sorry.
Right.
And if there's any, like I've said, if there's any specific situation or experience that I want to share with somebody, I will. But that's typically going to occur,
in private setting,
in person, in a one-on-one, or just a very small setting. Because one of the the things I think everybody can understand is the fact that many of the stuff that I've done, a lot of people go crazy over in the terms of they're like, oh my God, you did this, or you worked on this project, or you worked with this celebrity. And it's like, yeah, it's not really that exciting. Or it's exciting, but it's not.
Yeah, it turns out they don't like pickles, and that's weird to me.
And that's another thing. We were talking earlier about how sometimes, not all the time, sometimes it's not a good thing to meet the people that you really like or look up to. Because, in my own experience, I found that there's a lot of people that some of the music I really liked, or some of the things that they were doing I really liked. But after getting to know them, I'm like, wow, if
you see them in a completely different light.
If him and I or her and I were friends, we probably wouldn't hang out that often.
Yeah. Growing up, I was always a humongous fan of Jim Carrey. I always it's still my goal to be the Jim Carrey Batman Forever Riddler for Halloween. I love that costume, love that character. And it's always been on my bucket list to meet Jim Carrey someday. So that's just a little personal thing from MCP. If anyone even wants to know anything about me, because you guys don't tweet out to me. I'm totally joking. No, but yeah, I've always wanted to meet, I've always seen people in such great light as actors and comedians and superstars.
Sure.
And always wanted to find out who they really were as a person, because I've always been big into social experiments and finding out what people are into and who they really are as a person.
Sure. And going back to what I was talking about, the other thing is the fact that when you do tell them that you were associated with such project, they get really excited to the point where sometimes they don't leave you alone.
Yeah.
And I've talked briefly about it, but there have been times when I have had stalkers that I have had to deal with on a legal standpoint, believe it or not, which is kind of a weird thing even for me to say, because I don't really consider myself to be famous or popular or any of those words. But apparently I'm known enough that apparently I have to have stalkers, and those have definitely been very interesting to deal with over the years. And again, even just to think about it, it's kind of like, that's really stupid. But that has happened, and it is something I've had to deal with, and I got to tell you, it's very weird when it does happen.
I don't know the feeling. I've never been popular enough to be stalked.
Hopefully, that never happens. And in fact, you and I talked earlier in the week on this late Thursday night for some people. We talked earlier that the other day when I was in Raleigh, I was going to the donut shop, aka MagFest. MagFest equals donuts, if you didn't know that.
Definitely.
And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you should venture on to MagFest Facebook page and take a look at a couple of most notably recent posts to understand what we're talking about. But anyhow, when I was going to the donut shop to pick up some donuts, there were some people who recognized my car, because my license plate is pretty obvious, who's in the car. And they were yelling out of the car, "Vinny Mac, we love your show." Wow. You know,
that's a pretty specific imitated scream. Again,
well, you weren't even there, so. But I
could have screamed as if they didn't have voices.
But I hear that, and of course, again, I don't really see myself as being famous, popular, or whatever. But apparently, I'm known enough and have been, because we've talked about this before, other experiences where people have run into me and go, "Oh, you're DJ Vince Vinny Mac," and they're like, "I love your stuff," and I'm like, "Really? What have you heard?" Or, what's the timeline of content that you have caught? Because, I mean, I've changed my content enough over the years that I can hear what you've heard and bridge it to a particular timeline of my work. As far as particular genres or pieces of work that I may have been working on at the time, and say, "Oh yeah, this was probably during the last couple of years of the show," or "This was after the show and I was working with so and so on this, and we put this together," and what have you. And that's what happened.
That's awesome.
So, but it's just funny whenever that happens, because I'm just like, you always got to ask, how did you find out about it? How are you tuning into the show? Are you really a stalker? Any of that crazy stuff.
You've only seen one episode? You're not a real fan.
Yeah, you're not a real fan. So, it's like I said, it's very interesting whenever I run into people like that. And that energy drink is starting to give me the heartburn, baby.
Give you the heartburn?
Give me the heartburn.
Drink some water, man. Some serious heat lightning going on outside.
Yeah.
It's kind of freaky.
Freaky fricker.
Freaky fish.
Yeah, totally. So episode 1307 of the podcast is brought to you in part by MC Percolator. MC Percolator, coming at you with the facts.
With the facts.
And donuts. And speaking of brand names, we're at Taco Bell the other day, or I was at Taco Bell the other day, and picking up some food. And there was a bit of a mistake with the location.
Yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah, which ended up in me effectively getting double the food, which meant that MC Percolator here got a couple of Doritos Locos tacos. And
Delicioso.
Now they may have been a little cold, but nonetheless, they were delicious, and he consumed them happily, even though he told me these would have been better hot. And I was like,
I did not say that.
You told me on the phone.
This is true.
And I told you could put it in the microwave, and you said, "Ooh, microwave Taco Bell, that's disgusting."
Okay, there's a reason it's grade F meat.
Grade F is probably grade X.
You can never say no to a Doritos Locos taco.
No, that's probably why in the last couple of days I may have had like 30 tacos.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not sitting on the toilet right now.
I'm surprised that most of what's coming out of me isn't orange. from the taco shell.
Oh my god.
So
that's awesome.
So after MagFest, people ask me all the time, probably 2 or 3 weeks from the end, so I guess mid-March, hey, what kind of stuff are you going to be doing between now and the end of the year? And I was like, aside from maybe doing some stuff in Phoenix, I really don't have anything planned. So, that being said, we do have some stuff that we're doing in Phoenix at the end of May into early June that me and Yoshi Blade are going to be doing. And hopefully we'll be doing that with Flex Now and King Tiger in Phoenix, Arizona. I know both of them are very excited with the fact that I'm going to be there. And I know that King Tiger, a.k.a. KT, is very excited, not only that I'm going to be there, but I'm also bringing Yoshi Blade with me, because him and Yoshi Blade worked on a track not long ago that King Tiger posted on SoundCloud called Hang In There, and it's a very solemn track.
I'll check it out.
Sure you will.
I hear the doubt.
Yeah, your track record is not really. Anyhow,
is that a pun? Track record. Hey,
track and record.
That was an easy.
So you know, actually that was a track that happened to come on when I was leaving the airport after dropping Yoshi Blade, beat drop, and his fiance off, and you know, bear in mind that when I did drop off all of them, I gave Yoshi Blade a big Game Chumps hug, as I would, because I told him it's going to be at least 3 months until I see you again. It's true. It's true. And that came on, and I sent him a picture of the display on my radio, which showed the track title. Mm-hmm. And I said something to the effect of, it's going to be really hard to do over the next 3 months. Because, again, I'm working with him over Skype and over Instagram, because that's the only social media that he really wants to have any kind of interaction on. I've never really considered Twitter or he's on Twitter too. He recently got on there, but I don't consider Twitter or Instagram to really be really great chat platforms. I just don't. And as such, we've been communicating on Instagram because that's his social media of choice, and Skype as well. And I Skype him at least usually once a day when I'm not off on a trip. See how he's doing. I know that lately he's been just focusing on his social life and professional life, so he hasn't really been doing too much in the realm of music creation. And you know what? I told him, and I know he's having a hard time grasping this concept, but I told him that's just fine. You know, you can step away even for a month or two at a time, and that's not an issue. You know, sometimes you need to take a long break from your work to not only check out other things, but also to get other concepts and ideas brewing in your mind, because that's part of the process. I mean, King Tiger and I talked not long ago, and he told me that for many, many reasons, he hasn't been able to really put out anything really good.
Sometimes it's just I know nothing about content creation, so I'm not even going to try to go there.
But I mean, with him anyway, it's just the fact that he hasn't really been able to focus on that, because he's got so much going on outside of that deserves more attention.
Right.
So, and again, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And people, especially people like Yoshi Blade, need to understand that that is totally okay.
This is the way the cookie crumbles.
Because you and I already know that people like Yoshi Blade have a hard time grasping that concept just because of their own personality.
We just need to tell them to firmly grasp it. SpongeBob, yes.
Sure.
Technically Patrick Star. Hi, is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick. I love SpongeBob. I'm 22 years old and still love anything third season and back. And I love it. Anything after that is just trash. I really don't like SpongeBob after the third season. Anyways, we're talking about content creation.
Content creation, music creation, remixing, stuff in one's personal life.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah. Personal life. Work's getting pretty good. Work's getting pretty busy.
Yeah. And of course, people yours and my age, which is still quite an age range difference, need to understand that the hardships that we face in our life, that's normal.
Absolutely.
It may feel like it sucks. Trust me, it does.
The ups and downs are normal.
But that's part of life. as it's said before, and I'm sure I'm not quoting it exactly, you got to have your ups in order to have your downs, and the other way around. You got to have your downs in order to have your ups.
Mm-hmm. I recently just came out of my own down. It was a 6-month long down. It was pretty good. It came back around pretty well. I'm proud of where I am now compared to where I was 3 months ago at the lowest low point of that down, and I feel pretty happy, pretty motivated, pretty optimistic of what's going on around me and where I'm taking myself.
Good.
Oh yes. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure this Maddie is like making my eyes super heavy.
Which is funny. Which is funny because it's an energy drink, not a sleep aid.
Yeah, but that's what you say about coffee and caffeine. It puts you down.
Yeah, because in some people, caffeine has a negative effect.
Oh.
And I'm one of those people where caffeine doesn't put me in a state where I'm awake. It puts me to sleep.
It's not so much of a pick-me-up for you. It's a put me down.
Sure.
I tried. Okay?
You tried.
Don't judge me. I tried.
You tried.
But yeah, this healthy energy drink, it's tasty. I think it is. God. You had a nasty look on your face.
That is so disgusting.
Oh, I love it. It was good. Tasty. And this is replacing my coffee from now on. But until at least I run out of that case that I got.
I am sorry.
Coffee is delicious.
Well, coffee's fine in terms of taste.
But, I mean, I'd rather have this for free than to go out and buy coffee, you know? It's a nice, healthy energy drink. Just eat some oatmeal and a banana for breakfast and boom.
Well, I guess I'm lucky because not only do I get free coffee at the office, unless I go downstairs to the cafeteria, which I'm not going to do that for coffee.
Right.
But I pretty much get Dunkin' Donuts coffee for free because with the app, they pretty much give you so much free coffee. It's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
So Dunkin' Donuts, don't take that away, or else then I'll have to find another source for coffee, and then I'll be
take your free business elsewhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do buy stuff when I'm in there. I do buy donuts, and I do pay for coffee sometimes. It's not like I'm always getting it for free.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they do provide a lot of free coffee, and it's great. It's awesome.
That's definitely an up.
It's definitely an up. It makes my down go up.
Indeed.
And then I get to the office and I go down again. Because I have to go deal with all the problems that is, why I work. Which is very complex, I got to tell you. It keeps me up around the clock. So, because it's, when you do what I do, the insane amount of work that I do, it's not unusual that some people will get jealous.
Uh-oh.
And I mean, I get jealous too of people who are above me too, so I can understand. But at the same time, I work for that, for everything that I do. I'm always on the lookout for things I need to look out for, whether it be good prices, rewards, more optimal way of doing things, to cut costs. Heck, the last couple of episodes of the podcast have been primarily about that. Yeah.
I'm nodding my head right now. If nobody can see that, I'm definitely nodding my head.
He is nodding his head. Yes, sir.
I'm SMHing up and down.
Yes. So, yeah. Around this time we take our second break, and we have some more exciting Overclock Remix tracks. And don't forget that if you like any of the stuff that you heard tonight, make sure to head over to ocremix.org and check out all of the Overclock remixers who've been featured on tonight's show, in addition to checking out the show notes at VinnyMacRadio.com. And again, checking out everybody who's a part of the Game Chumps crew at GameChumps.tv. Remember, that's GameChumps.tv. So, without further delay, we'll take a short break, and we'll finish talking about more stuff. Stay tuned.
When I dream, I combinations and variations, shades and hues. That is, a blue-green color. This much is called mixing.
Welcome back, everyone, to the VinnyMac's 9 Radio Show podcast, the most radioactive show on the planet, episode 1307, coming to you live from the VinnyMac Productions mobile studio here in Raleigh, North Carolina, here at MC Puckalatus.
Yeah.
Pad.
I
MCP,
prefer crib.
MCP, no, MCP stands for more than just MC Puckalatus. It stands for MC's Pad.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more of like a 3-word acronym, but let me brainstorm on that for a minute.
Okay, that's fine.
Continuing to another topic, I'll just interrupt you with a 3-word.
So thanks everyone for tuning into the show tonight. We may be coming to you on such platforms as the VIP stream at VinnyMacRadio.com.
My crib that's pimped.
Man, way to interrupt.
Told you I was going to interrupt you.
You were. Okay, fine. Whatever. We may be coming to you on such platforms as the VIP stream at VinnyMacRadio.com, Shoutcast, YouTube, Twitch TV, and Hitbox. Hitbox is the official partner of VinnyMac's 9 Radio Show podcast, so make sure to give us a follow if you like the show. And if not, make sure to tell us why, because we can't improve unless you give us some sort of feedback. That's an important factor to everything that we do on the show. If we don't have constructive criticism, then there's nothing we can really do to improve the dynamic of the show. So far, though, the feedback's been relatively positive, so I think we're doing okay.
For those who, well, no one can see, he threw his thumbs up.
I did.
For that awkward pause there, in between what he was saying, there was a thumbs up.
And unfortunately, unlike other pictures we may have posted on social media, we did not get a picture of that. So you won't see any photos of me giving the thumbs up like I just did, but that's okay. That's okay.
Oh yeah.
So it's been quite a show, and like I said, it's been quite the 6 months.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean,
I can't believe it's already gone.
We've had tons of events, so much to do. In and out of those events, we've had, of course, work, things that are helping us pay for those things that we're doing outside of the office.
Mm-hmm.
Things that are very near and dear to my heart and what I do. Hence why I'm here at MC Puckalatus' place.
Indeed, with delicious donuts.
Delicious donuts that I brought over, and the delicious Taco Bell. And the
Schmexy Lexi and I had some chicken and Velveeta mac and cheese.
Yes,
It's pretty good. It's just tasty.
You asked if I wanted some, but I told you, hey, I just had a crap ton of tacos and just really was not hungry.
Yes, but if you could tell everyone, how good was the chicken I let you?
Oh,
I gotta know, because last time I made it was a little dry, and this time I did pretty damn good job.
I gave you my constructive criticism, and how did you like my constructive criticism?
I don't know. You should tell everyone what your constructive criticism was. You first took the bite with your fingers and put it in your mouth. You said, "Let me savor the flavor."
You put it on a fork and you said, "Take it with your hand." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I didn't lie.
Well, I just want people to know that I didn't just pick it off the plate.
Picture.
Yes.
I scooped it up.
Yes, but I didn't want people to think I just picked it off the plate.
I wasn't going to be weird and forks.
Yes, but the people did not understand that because you didn't say that.
Well, they know now.
Okay.
So I picked it up on the fork, and I said, Vinny, use your fingers and pick it up, put it in your mouth. He said, okay. So I took this bite. And I said, how is it? How's the chicken? He's like, hold on, I need to savor this for a moment. He sits back on the back of my couch, he crosses his legs and folds his fingers over and sits there and ponders for a moment. And then he says,
I like what you did with the seasoning, and
which was only salt, pepper, and garlic. I felt pretty championish.
Yeah,
expert.
Yeah, but the seasonings and spices you were using from a pre-made grinder container.
Yeah, but still salt and pepper.
Yeah, another seasonings. And then I said, but you and your whole life, you're nothing. Get the hell off of my show.
But that was before the show.
It was, but I guess you're just never gonna. You're just never gonna be on. Never gonna be on the cooking show.
I live here. Oh yeah, that was right. Get off my cooking show. Oh man. So we never got around to telling you to asking you what your favorite part of MagFest was. What is?
Oh no! We asked last episode, but I'm pretty sure that my outlook may be different just because a month has gone by since we've talked about it.
Yeah.
It might be the same. I just don't remember because, as we all know, I've done so much last 6 months, especially the last month in particular. But I'm pretty sure that just in general, aside from making sure that the event happened and that everything was smooth, that it was really just getting some time to hang out with Yoshi Blade and Beat Drop and his fiance, people that, I've admired for quite some time, especially Beat Drop. A lot of what they do for the community and a lot of what, they've done with their own music, of course, to me is spectacular. And, as I've told all of them, not just Beat Drop, Yoshi Blade, others who I have worked with over the years, some people consider their process to be incredibly elementary. But to me and others, those where that may be a completely new concept, I look at that and I'm like, okay, sure, it may be pretty simple to you. It may seem elementary, but to me, that's a little complex.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to think of.
I almost used the word far-fetched, but that's not quite the word I wanted to use because it's absolutely possible because it is being done, but it's not really something I would have ever imagined.
What is the word you were going to say recreational? There's a
No.
word that sounds like that.
No.
I don't know. I'm not very great with words.
And Yoshi Blade, that's what he's constantly telling me all the time is, well, you'd laugh, if you really understood my process. And I'm like, no, I understand it because I've seen it. And it's, I understand why you think that. But to somebody like myself, somebody like myself who's been doing this for a long time, I have my own process. And that process in itself is, elementary to me and to others. They're like, wow, that is... Some may say, wow, that's very convoluted. But at the same time, that's my process. I've been doing it for a long time, so it seems elementary to me. And that's fine. That's totally cool. Because it works for me. And that's the important thing, is that it works for you and that it does what you're expecting it to do.
Exactly. You should never model yourself after somebody, expecting yourself to be at the same level as somebody else.
And I have no problem with you looking up to other remixers or
especially for inspiration.
People that who are doing similar things or things that you would like to be able to do, and running with it and taking your own approach to it, taking your own style to it. Because frankly, even though there are some really top-notch artists who are remixing and doing all kinds of stuff with video game music, but it's really all about you and bringing your own style to the table. Because frankly, when it comes down to it, when you take that approach, I myself working with people have heard things that not only are incredibly beautiful, but things that I just never could have imagined myself. And it's just crazy to think that, even myself pushing people in that direction, others pushing people they're working with in a different direction, that's yielded really interesting and really creative stuff. Because, as we've said before, it doesn't really do too much good if you can replicate somebody else's work. I mean, it's cool if you can do that to help you learn the music yourself, to learn the track, learn the instruments, which, I've done a lot on my YouTube channel, just showing people, hey, I've been able to actually compose the track, do a MIDI composition, and then tie some semi-fake instruments to it and turn it into something that might be identical to the original source, but may have, a little slight difference to it, just as far as the instruments that I wanted to use and the difference that I wanted to take it in regards to the direction that I'm thinking of going in terms of how I want to remix that particular track.
And that's why I never really felt guilty. I played the drums for 10 years, all the way from the 6th grade all the way into the 12th grade, and I never felt bad plugging in the headphones and playing songs on my iPod, just technically covering songs, and learning how to play, just to be able to get my grounding to be able to create something on my own eventually.
Well, we all know that was very different for me and my approach over the years, because of course, I was embroiled in the all the copyright issues that have been for the most part, taken care of as far as how content providers deal with that. Mm-hmm. So for the longest time, I was, to some degree, scared out of my mind, even on a personal level, to use somebody else's work, even for my own educational process.
Yeah.
So, which to a lot of young people, that doesn't make any sense because they never went through that. They know, that's not something they're probably ever going to understand because that was not really something relevant to their generation. To their generation. But of course, it was for me, and that meant that I had to deal with that because, of course, when you're working on a professional level, those things do matter. Because we all know that, especially if you've been with us for a long time, you know that these are days before YouTube, before you had content ID systems that could detect if you're utilizing copyrighted work, and if so, how to deal with that. Mm-hmm. Those really haven't been around that long. They've seemed like they've been around forever, but they really haven't. And they are definitely cool systems to have because it means that it can give somebody the ability to utilize somebody else's work without them even having to know them or even talk to them, and let the appropriate content ID system, particularly if you're on YouTube, to detect, how to deal with that if you want to monetize that. And if you don't, give you the ability to still keep that as a posted piece of content, but not have to worry about paying for it,
right,
or getting embroiled in a copyright
lawsuit.
lawsuit.
Smoother now than I did back in the day, and I say back in the day as in like early YouTube days.
Sure.
That's about all I know. Your knowledge of the creating part of the entertainment industry is a whole lot more than I know about it.
It's crazily vast.
I just, the farthest back I can remember is when YouTube, when you were a top 10 YouTuber, it actually meant something.
Yeah. Back before you had,
ads everywhere.
Ads, featured videos, featured users, featured posts. It was pretty much all about who had the video that was in the top 10 ranking at this, this particular time.
Instead of when you had 1 million views, you earned those 1 million views and you were on top 10 because you had those 1 million views.
Yeah. And of course, now we all know it's about minutes watched as opposed to number of views. Yeah. But you know what? That actually, to me, makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
for somebody watching through the entire video would give you, depending on how long it is.
Well, not only that, but it's incredibly easy to generate views systematically through bots or through automated processes. And, I can guarantee you that even a lot of top-name artists utilize that on some degree.
Yeah.
Whether or not they knew it, maybe not. But at the same time, I can guarantee you that that's a true statement right there.
Especially like one of my favorite videos from maybe 2003 or 4. 55.
55, yep.
My IQ is 55. I need to watch that video again. It's hilarious. I think last time I saw it had like 7 million views or something like that.
Yep. And everybody, again, that's followed the podcast for as long as we've done it, in addition to all the radio shows we've done, and all the other content that we've done in the meantime. You guys know that not only do I do things professionally, which is, of course, where I put most of my actual production value, but I also love to have fun in my sandbox, which is what I would consider my YouTube channel, things on my site.
Absolutely.
Most things that I'm publicly putting out there, because, of course, things like that. There was an issue where that resulted in a class action lawsuit to where things were being backed up, but ultimately got corrupted, even though they were being backed up to 3 places. And unfortunately,
that was my first episode here, wasn't it? Not here, but that was my first episode.
Yeah, I think so. But anyhow,
I remember you talking about that. How all that data was lost.
That data got corrupted, and I have a drive that unfortunately has not been able to spin up since I was able to recover that drive, knowing that it has that data on there, but it does not spin up anymore. So as a result, I cannot physically read it. without involving a data recovery specialist, in which that drive would have to enter a lab and be rebuilt. So that could be spun up and the data can be extracted off there. But anyhow, that data was corrupted in its backup processes, which also caused the live production copies to get corrupted as well. So as a result, the only thing I really have from that particular era are all the temp files that I was playing around with when I was doing some of that production work. So of course, all of that is really just, temp audio from when I was playing around in the production studio working on various projects. Unfortunately, has not been able to spin up since I was able to recover that drive, knowing that it has that data on there, but it does not spin up anymore. So as a result, I cannot physically read it without involving a data recovery specialist, in which that drive would have to enter a lab and be rebuilt. So that could be spun up and the data can be extracted off there. But anyhow, that data was corrupted in its backup processes, which also caused the live production copies to get corrupted as well. So as a result, the only thing I really have from that particular era are all the temp files that I was playing around with when I was doing some of that production work. So of course, all of that is really just, temp audio from when I was playing around in the production studio working on various projects. So that's very different than some of the other reasons.
Yeah.
As far as other work that I post on YouTube, what have you. Really, it's just my sandbox. It's really nothing to be taken seriously. And, again, we put the podcast and other things on there for archive purposes. We don't really put that there for people to utilize as a means to listen to the podcast.
And that's your YouTube page, not Game Chumps group page.
Well,
right?
no, I do put that on the Game Chumps as well. But again, that's really just for backup and archiving purposes. It's
just from poops and laughs.
No, literally, it's just there in the event that I need it for some reason. Now, again, you can obviously listen to it if you want, but it's not like I'm expecting views from it because it's there. I have my own platform for that, and we utilize specifically for those reasons. So all the other platforms, YouTube, Twitch TV, Hitbox, Shotcast, all of them out there, they're there for the primary reason of just archive backup, and when we're doing a live show, for the other purpose of really just providing it as a convenience for those that either don't have access to the platform or just don't know how to get there, because this being an underground show, there is a reason why you would have access to it, and also a reason why you wouldn't have access to it. So if you don't, then we do provide many other methods that most other people are not going to provide for really just one show. So it's kind of crazy that even on an underground level, we can still do that and push the show to so many platforms.
I'm still flabbergasted. I've been waiting to use that word for a while.
Why are you flabbergasted? Just because I'm able to do that?
Yeah, I'm already learning so much from being a part of this show and learning different things from you, that there's so much about this side of the world that I never would have learned on my own.
Sure.
And every time I'm on the show, I learn something new. It's so much fun.
Sure. It's definitely a crazy and in some cases,
not to mention breaking the fourth wall is pretty fun.
Yeah, complex world.
With all fourth walls and such.
With all four walls.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah. So when I went out to Los Angeles, those of you guys who follow the action on Facebook, Yoshi Blade, and others that are friends with me but are not following me because they don't like seeing all my updates. That's okay. I do post a lot because I'm very busy. But I had the opportunity to shoot a live action sketch when I was out in Los Angeles.
That's awesome.
And I'm debating whether or not I want to show the rest of the Chumps, because this wasn't really something I did for the Game Chumps. It was something I wrote many years ago, and finally had the opportunity from a studio to actually shoot it while I was out there. And
Cool.
So those that have access to the VIP stream and those who are VIPs coming in through Livecaster with VLC will have the opportunity post the show to check out this particular sketch. It's about 8.5 minutes, and it's titled OMG.
Oh my goodness.
With 2 exclamation points. And if you're on Facebook, there you should remember a particular photo, which is really just a screenshot from what I think is the funniest segment of that particular sketch that I did. I'll have to show you, Reed, because I don't think you've seen it, but it's pretty funny, I think.
I'm excited to watch it.
And without any context, you're just like, wow, there's something serious going on here. So, but if you're a VIP, you will be automatically be receiving this post the show. You don't have to do anything; just stick around, and it'll start without you having to do anything. So, I'm again very excited to show that. Totally not related to Game Chumps, but nonetheless, it's still something that's been again near and dear to what I do.
So, I'm excited to see it.
I have no idea what cooks up in that brain.
The funny thing is that even VIPs who aren't really even going to be authorized to see this, they're going to be asking me, "Hey, can I see it?" And I'll be like, "No."
Didn't even say please.
Pretty much. So if you want to see it, make sure to say please, and I'll probably still say no anyway. But
fruit baskets and gift cards.
Yeah, fruit baskets and gift cards do work.
Accepted.
Do work in regards to something like that. Trade secrets and other things, no, not so much. Gift baskets and gift cards won't work on stuff like that.
Maybe a new dryer. Maybe.
Well,
if you really wanted to see it.
Maybe a new $50,000 sports car. That might.
No, that's
work.
too much. That's a bribe.
No,
that's totally a bribe.
No, I'd be okay with that because the information I'd give probably wouldn't be too terribly helpful.
No, probably not.
Because I know better than that. I've been in the industry too long to make a mistake like that.
To accept a $50,000 car?
To accept any kind of a major monetary bribe like that, whether it be a gift or actual money. You are crazy.
Gift baskets are nice.
Oh yeah,
gosh, I yawned.
And yeah, speaking of gift baskets and gift cards, make sure if you want to send us anything, especially promotional material, you can do so by sending us whatever it is at VinnyMac's 9 Radio Show, P.O. Box 3359, Chester, Virginia, zip code 23831.
Nice.
I don't know why I decided to say it like that, but I did.
Dos, tres, uno.
Uno, dos, tres.
Cuatro, cinco, seis.
I don't remember the next after that.
Siete, ocho, nueve.
It's been too long.
There's a V in 9. When I went from preschool to kindergarten, my teacher asked me if I could count to 10. I said, "Would you like that in English or Spanish?"
And she was like, "Give it to me in English, dumbass."
I felt like a badass. She laughed at me. I wasn't kidding around.
I'd laugh at you too.
You laugh at me all the time.
But that's because you're a laughable person.
This is true.
It's very true. It is incredibly true. So, went to Los Angeles, did some work there, did the sketch. That was very interesting. I did a ton of other work in regards to why I was there after hours. So, I mean, it was a crazy week out there. And then after that, I had 2 full weeks of work, and then I had to go up to Northern Virginia to do some more work at headquarters. And then I came back. I had to go to Phoenix for a whopping day. And then had to go to work for a couple days, and then came down here to hang out for a while and do the glorious VinnyMac's 9 Radio Show podcast, episode 1307.
Yes, 1307.
What people don't know is that this will be the first episode that we will be utilizing the RTS monitoring and control system.
Ooh.
Now that might not mean anything to the average listener, but that gives me the ability during the show to not only have more desktop real estate to actually monitor the show, but also to just have more overall functionality as far as viewing social media, viewing everything as it happens,
right,
to provide a more reliable and stable platform, especially for the VIPs, because they are the main reason why that platform exists and why the show is able to be provided outside of that platform to Hitbox, YouTube, and Shoutcast. So, I know it's already almost to the conclusion of the show, but do remember that Shoutcast, for this particular podcast, is the most reliable way to get the show. And of course gives you the up-to-date track information as far as when we're actually playing tracks, to give you the artist and title information so that you can check it out.
So you don't have to spend your time Shazamming.
Or looking through the show notes. And the funny thing about the show notes, as I'm sure anybody who's looked at them knows, is the show notes used to get posted the night of the airing of the podcast. So after we would finish a podcast, they would get posted. Well, for some reason, it's been lately that the show notes don't get posted until usually after the airing of the next one.
Yeah. Really?
And that's because we've been so busy that it is so hard to actually get the notes posted. And people may say, well, that should be the easy part. No, not really, because there's so many backlinks that has to be generated, and I have to formalize the actual show notes to ensure that everything's accurate and up to date. Again, may seem simple and elementary, but at the same time, in order to ensure accuracy and that everything is the way it's supposed to, I care more about getting the archive up there to make sure we have our backups. And, of course, continuing everything that we're doing, whether it be actual stuff with Game Chumps, OC Remix Game Chomps, or stuff with my own work, that helps to pay the bills for all this stuff. And, of course, allows me to work with other people in the community, because, again, that's what that money is primarily used for, to work with those in the community.
Absolutely.
So if that didn't exist, me working in the community wouldn't be possible. So I definitely think my capability to be able to do that, because it's what I do and what I love to do so very much.
You've definitely it's grown on me, definitely. It's a lot of fun.
It's kind of funny because me and MC Percolata have only known each other for probably what?
6 months, 7 months.
It was August, September.
Yeah, maybe 9 months.
So
I don't math.
You don't math.
I don't math. We've gone over this.
But we were talking to your roommate earlier today, and I said, "Yeah, it's been less than a year," and he was like, "What? It seems like an eternity."
It has. It definitely feels like it's been such a long time.
And the other thing is that even though I don't really come down here too terribly often, it seems like, at least from your perspective anyway, it seems like I live here.
You were joking about giving you a house key.
Yeah, you were. And I would have taken you up on the offer, just because whenever I come down here, it seems like no one's around, and I have to wait for you guys.
Yeah. She was here earlier?
Yeah, today, but that wasn't the case previous.
Yeah, last time, that was right. You sat outside for like 30 minutes or something.
Nah, it was a little longer than that, but that was okay. It wasn't like I had a big problem with that.
It wasn't even dark outside yet, so...
No, but I did knock on the wrong door. Because
I live here and I've done that before.
Because I was on the wrong side, and I didn't realize where I was. But either way, I was like, I definitely did not have the right place, and quickly pointed that out when the woman came to the door, and I'm like, yeah, you are not MC Percolata. You are not the other two people I would expect here. Either that, or this is one ugly woman. Nah, she wasn't too bad for an older woman.
Oh, absolutely not. They say they have experience. Excuse my yawning.
That's the way I look at it. Experience, not the awning.
Right. Oh, I was thinking of both. I think you were talking about both.
I think I'm not talking about both. Wow. This has been quite the podcast. Here at the Game Chums crew, our primary thing that we're about is video games, technology, and the culture that surrounds it.
Absolutely.
And if you haven't figured that out, well, that's what we're about. We're about video games, technology.
Keeping it real.
And but video games, technology, and that culture in real life. So I know that when we first came onto social media, there were a lot of people who really didn't understand what in the world the Game Chumps were. But the Game Chumps crew, that's what we're all about. We're about video games, technology,
spread the love,
and everything that surrounds it, whether that be video game music, chiptune, playing video games, making video games, playing on your computer, browsing the web.
Playing Clash of Clans, which anyone, if you'd like to join my clan,
yeah, you can
tweet
do
out
that.
To me.
You can do that. You can tweet out to MC Puckaleta, and you can go to GameChumps.tv for all the exciting social media information as far as how to get in contact with all of us.
Absolutely.
I know MC Puckaleta is fading fast.
Dude, my eyelids are getting super heavy.
Yeah, you're one of those people where once you get tired, it comes quick.
Yeah, it's like a ton of bricks.
Yep.
I got a quick drop whenever I get tired.
Very much so.
I even had caffeine.
Yeah. Well, you had your awesome energy drink.
It tastes good. I think you're crazy.
I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I don't like it.
Say, more for me.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all I'm saying.
I guess it's a good thing I didn't take a second can, because originally I was like, yeah, I'll take a second can. And I'm like, no, I'll taste it first and let them know.
Actually, I want to see how much liquid they fit in this. It's like a tall, skinny can.
It's a standard energy drink can. I mean,
it's 12 fluid ounces. That's the same thing as a regular beer can.
Yeah.
Soda can. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. But it's delicious. Actually, Maddie was a healthy energy drink that a student at Duke University invented while she was a student. She had mixed a bunch of different concentrate fruit juices together and carbonated water, and I said, damn, this is good. Maybe I should sell it. And now she's making a jack ton of money.
So that is definitely a good note to all you young people. Start mixing crap together. And
good tasting crap.
Yeah, and tasting crap. And see what happens.
Did you just say tasting crap? You didn't say good?
Well, you got to taste it first to know if it's good. You're not going to know right away if it's good. But yeah, that's a good note. And anything that you do that harms you or others as a result of that
can be held against you.
Can be held against you, and not the Game Chumps crew, because we told you so. So we're not being held liable for your negligence.
And if you do not have a lawyer will be appointed for you
by whatever state or locality that you happen to be in. If
Whatever
you are in the United States, anyway,
can and will be used against you in the court of law.
There you go.
I still don't know my Miranda rights.
That's funny.
I mean that's pretty good. I've never been arrested, so I say me not knowing my Miranda rights is acceptable.
Yeah, but all the movies and TV shows you've seen that hasn't.
Well, I can say 21 Jump Street wasn't a very good example of that because Channing Tatum could never remember his.
I'm trying to remember. Is it you that likes Hawaii Five-0?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't dislike it. It's just I'm not obsessed with it. That's what you're asking.
Well, no, I'm not obsessed, but I mean, there's somebody I've worked with recently that likes it enough that they watch it regularly.
Oh no, I'm definitely an Archer watcher, Rick and Morty watcher.
Yeah, Archer and Rick and Morty. Those are good shows. Check them out.
I'm big on The Flash, The Arrow, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Once Upon a Time, and there's one other show, but I can't remember.
That's okay.
Oh, The Walking Dead. Duh.
The Walking Dead.
Duh. Which, by the way, if anyone who hasn't seen it, pause it for the next 5 seconds. I think Abraham was the one that got beat to death at the end of that show. And in the 6th season. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, your 2 cents has been noted. And the people out there will use it for what it is.
I'm just saying.
If they want to use it, cool.
Orange Crush can a few episodes earlier I think that was a foreshadow. Abraham's a redhead. They get the shit beat out of him with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. That's all I'm saying. It was either him or Glenn, and I think it was Abraham.
Fair enough.
Anyways, what were you gonna say?
Nothing in particular.
Well, all right then.
Just because this is my podcast doesn't mean that I'm the one that's got all the stuff to bring to the table. That's why I've got the Game Chumps to help me do that.
Oh, sure. We're just there when you don't have anything to talk about?
Yeah, which has been the entire podcast. I thought you knew that by now.
Oh, I knew partially. I had a feeling.
You knew partially?
I had a feeling. It's like, I get to say a few things, and that's it.
Yeah.
Totally joking.
A few things? What the hell?
Joking. Totally joking.
Jeez.
But...
Well, on behalf of everybody here at VinnyMac Productions and VinnyMac Interactive Entertainment, I'd like to thank our Krispy Kreme donuts, our Taco Bell, that disgusting energy drink.
It's delicious. You're crazy.
The Beverly Hills VIP Cigarella cigars.
Shrapnel Ice cigars.
Shrapnel Ice cigars. For not hooking us up, because I did pay for those. Right. But for just being good products.
Reliable.
Being good products.
Reliable products.
You know, a long time ago I posted a photo of a Wendy's combo meal. Mm-hmm. And basically was like, this is a really awesome food. And somebody was like, oh, you're such a sellout. And I'm like, well, number one, no, I paid for this. And number two, I would really only ever endorse products that I'm actually using in my everyday life. So, wrong on both accounts. So, but yes, these are all products that I use in my everyday life, much like the Audio Technica 2500 condenser microphones. I keep wanting to call it a cigar. Microphone, because it is the microphone of choice. It's very easy to set up and use, and of course has the built-in headphone port so that I can monitor the show when I'm doing it. So it's very convenient and very mobile, and that is what I use in the mobile setup. In the studio, we use something a little different.
It's a great mic, and it smells tasty.
It smells tasty, especially brand new.
Yeah, definitely. Right out of the box. It smells tasty.
Yeah.
Really tasty.
And if we're really going to go hog heaven with endorsements that we paid for ourselves through products that we already bought, Amazon Prime Now is definitely good for products that are eligible for that, because that's how the microphones were able to get to me so fast, because I ordered them when I was in Phoenix on Monday, and they got to me that night, and my friend Bill, who watches my house when I'm away, was able to bring them in, and they were in my house by the time I got home, and they were ready to be sent down here when I was coming down here to do the podcast.
Heck yeah!
So
these mics are super cool.
Yeah, I definitely like them, even though they're using their native tripod. I definitely like them, and of course they work very easily with any other microphone setup or arm or what have you.
Right.
They do the job, and they do the job very nicely. Unlike Rossi, who would get all up on the microphone and start eating it. So
that's why you have the little screen there sometimes.
Yeah.
Keep Rossi putting the mic in his mouth.
Some people, when we're doing the mobile podcast, they'll go, well, you don't have the pop filter on there. And it's like, yeah, there's a reason why we don't have a pop filter, because we're not in front of the microphone. Mm-hmm. We're in a open studio environment where there should be no need for a pop filter.
There's plenty of humid air in this room.
There definitely is, because it's definitely warm out there. So, for real, on behalf of everybody here at the VinnyMac Productions Mobile Live Studio, VinnyMac Interactive Entertainment, the fine folks who make this technologically possible at the VinnyMac Productions Monitoring and Control Center in Huntsville, Alabama, because they're the ones that make sure that the VIP stream is stable for all of you people out there. Mm-hmm. And of course, that makes that possible for all the other platforms that we utilize, since that is the source for the show.
Awesome.
So, and of course, we couldn't have done it without myself, DJ Vince VinnyMac.
You're conceited.
Yeah, I know. Our loyal co-host,
MCP.
MCP.
Glad to be here.
MC Puckaleta. And of course, the game chumps that couldn't be with us, like Rossi, Temwug, and Yoshi Blade. Mad props to them.
They're not dead. They're just across the country.
Yeah, they're just across the country doing their own thing, and that's totally cool.
Doing their game chump things.
And more importantly, thanks to you, the listener, for tuning in, because you are the real reason why the show is here and we do what we do. Because the show is made and broadcasted for you. I'm just the host.
With the facts.
With the facts.
Indeed.
So, as always, when I end the show, this is a very important saying that I've said at the very end of every broadcast that I've done on radio and the podcast. I'm DJ Vince VinnyMac. Stay true to yourself. Keep it real. And we'll catch you next time. We're out.